I'm Janine Bolin, and I'm here today with Nicole Borghi. And is that how you say your name?
Yeah, Borghi,
Okay,
absolutely.
I just wanted to make sure I got that right. Anyway, this is Janine, and I just wanted to let you guys know I'm so glad that you decided to sign up for this workshop because Nicole and I come with decades upon decades of podcasting, audio editing, experience coming to you today. And what we're going to do is it started off as a passion project for mine because I was so pissed off at how much money I had to spend. And to the date, my audiobook is still not up on ACX, although my team is working on it and I know they'll get there. I know it eventually will be, but $2,800 later and 3 months of intensive multiple phone calls, still struggling to get my audiobook up on Audible, ACX, and Amazon. So because of the struggle that is real with all that, I wanted to bring to you something that Nicole and I kind of hashed out. But Nicole, this is really Nicole's bailiwick, where she's going to talk to you about how to record your audiobook, how to work with it. She's done characterizations, she's done voiceover work. She's very experienced with that. And so, you know me, I have a problem, I struggle, I bring in somebody who knows what they're talking about, and I educate you on that. And we'll have some tips from me later on. But first, we're going to have Nicole go and try to talk to you about, don't worry about a lot of things that you may be worried about when it comes to talking about your audiobook or recording your audiobook for your readers and your listeners. So Nicole, great to have you with us. What have you got to share with us today?
Hey, I am really excited to be here because, talking about that kind of pain point and what can we do to have a solution is always amazing when you get together with someone and kind of mastermind and really hash it out to find out, well, what can we do to solve this? And if we're having a problem, there has to be other people having a problem, and basically narrators or authors, writers sharing their content. How do you share that best without having to pay that ridiculous price and not make that profit and have it become residual income? So really playing with that digital space and that creation, I've brought together a presentation and some information and definitely some fun slides. So you're not going to, no death by PowerPoint, but we're going to have some fun and you'll really get to see the creation process and how simple it is and how fun it can be.
Great. That sounds fabulous. And I look forward to what you have to share with us. So if you don't mind, let's just go ahead and launch into it, because what I'll do is I'll ask you some questions if I'm trying to figure out where you're going with something, or also let you know some of the questions that I have had multiple people say to me. Many of our students couldn't be here today, so they emailed me questions, and so I'll ask them on their behalf. So thank you, Nicole.
Oh, absolutely. Well, I'll get started and bring this up here. And if everything is seen on your end, we can go along with it. Well, welcome to the Record Your Audiobook course, right? And if there were a way you could go from zero to rockstar audiobook narrator in 30 days or less, would you want to know about it? Well, yeah, that's why you're watching, right? Duh. And today I'll be covering 3 major strategies to elevating your audiobook narration skills to that rock star status and turn your #1 bestseller into an audiobook. And you can pretty much DIY this yourself. And what if you could tell your story to the world and make money doing it? Well, the first thought is, as a writer, well, I did tell my story to the world and I published it, and I went on the publishing juggernaut and went through and met some fans and signed some books and put some posts out on social media. But there's one more step you can do here. And just to really introduce who I am so you know the validity to it is, I'm Nicole Borghi, and I'm AKA the Digital Diva. And I'm a podcast host and a speaker and a voiceover artist. And I always share with my audience and my clients how to brand yourself through business, through the power of podcasting and virtual events, so you can stand out and shine. And what's important to me is when clients are empowered, they become connected with one another, to you as a coach, or to you as a podcaster or an interviewer, and that becomes a soul aligned empire. And I am that content creator. And you know what? I really want you to tell your story to the world through the spoken word, and share that in the voice. This way, when you do your own audio creation, you can gain more profit and share your passionate purpose. That's really how I got here, is through heart-centered entrepreneurship, is sharing one more tool in my toolbox that can make your life easy. Because if it's not easy peasy, it's not worth doing. I do want to pause and say that I have a handout that'll be attached with a video. It's all the do's and don'ts of audiobooks, just simple fun. Of course, it's a little visual there for you. I wrote the book, Cracking the Podcast Code, and the code to that, the codex. And when we get into that, the code is the cipher of the words. What are you saying? How are you speaking? How are you showing up? And how does that come here into audiobooks? Well, it really jives into recording your audiobook and telling your story through your throat chakra. And through the ages, we have told our story to our tribes, right? And now we're going to take it to the next level. And today, I want to share with you easy peasy production. If it's not easy, if it's not fun, it's not worth doing. It should really spark your solar plexus and the creation and really bring you down into your root chakra and just get rooted with what you want. I'm going to take you on an audio journey, a visual and audio here today. And of course, one of the most important ways to take it to the next level is to retain your intellectual property asset. Your intellectual property, what you know, your knowledge, your voice, your words need to all come together as one. And here's a top secret tip. Here's a writer downer. I want you to go ahead and if you've got a notepad, get it out, put it on your phone, text it to yourself. The top secret tip for right now is your passion to create another intellectual property asset and another stream of income that you can control. Again, I cannot say that enough. If you sign over your contract and your rights to that, sometimes it's a little bit hard to get back. And as Janine has mentioned, it was her book, it's her passion that she is narrating. And it's hard to get that connected. So she never signed those rights over, but you can see how messy it can get. So don't just, hand it on over, right? We want to keep that all together. And you know what? When you go to bed, here's a little question for you I want to ask is, do you feel fulfilled and satisfied that writing your book, your #1 bestseller, was enough? Well, you're here because there's one more key. There's one more step that you can take to next level, your #1 bestseller and your audiobook. You know what? If you haven't, you're not alone. We're here connected, and you can connect to your audience more. And that's what it's all about. It's that energetic connection from us to our audience. And listen to a book. How many of you have listened to a book? I listen to podcasts. I listen to audiobooks all the time. Help me think and grow throughout my day. And why might you consider narrating? Well, you know what? I feel that narrating your book takes you one step closer to your audience. It's a way you can kind of personalize that connection through the power of voice and the throat chakra. But here's where I really nerd out. So stay with me just for a second. One of my successful careers in 20 plus years was in law enforcement and security, and I was a report writer. I had the foot pedal, I typed, I did all that fun stuff. I took dictation and I listened to the officers speaking to me. And what I found is statistics, reports, that all comes together. And thanks to today, the all-seeing Google God, this data junkie, I can absolutely gain a win. And looking for that information I need to look out there. how can this propel? What's that way that I can support and serve other authors and narrators in my group? And don't tune out to this, I promise it'll be real quick. According to APA, Audio Publishers Association, Edison's Research National Survey of American audio listeners, I know it's a mouthful, ages 18 and up, found that the average number of audiobooks listened to per year increased from 8.1% in 2020 up from 6.8% in 2019. So just in 1 year, it grew by 2%. And yep, 50% of audiobook listeners say that they're making new time to listen to audiobooks and consume more books. I certainly am. I love it. I'm a podcast junkie. I've got the 3rd podcast coming out. I love talking. I love engaging with my audience. But I also like that the narration of commercials and sharing that impactful message. This all comes back to audiobooks and narrating chapters of books, and I share that with my audience. And as I stated, I brought those receipts for you and to share how you the understanding of the statistics of growth. And audiobooks are growing by leaps and bounds. It's about 2.5% every year, and it's only going up with the advent of everybody's got a phone in their pocket. It's a little hard to read that text sometimes, whether you're awake or maybe we age or we forgot our glasses or we're not really paying attention. We can listen, right? And the audiobooks enrich your health. And they have definitely enriched my health. And you can see that proof and that data always supports that growth. And you're going to see a little bit more in the growth strategy. But here we are right now, the number one, here we go. As I promised, I got 3 strategies for you. And the number one strategy to your audiobook is sharing your story. Yes, it's a big component. And yes, it's kind of like a duh moment. I want to share my story as much as I can. I want to grow, and I want to grow with my audience, and I want my audience to grow with me. And telling stories, really fascinates me as a hospice volunteer and working with vets. I heard stories all the time. I would listen to their stories, and sometimes a few stories of the troops I won't repeat here, but you know what, that will go to the grave with some people at the end of life. But it's great to have that legacy of storytelling and the wisdom that is shared with audiobooks. And, I presume you're watching this or listening right now, even because it's a growth segment of income. But if you don't love a medium, you're not going to master it. I love audiobooks. You can tell there's huge passion in my voice here with it. And thinking back, I even listened to mixtapes. Years later, I even listened to self-help tapes and soul-aligned mindset magic. I remember a gold mine dig at a Goodwill secondhand store, finding a treasure trove of Tony Robbins tapes. They were all color coded, and they had these little booklets with it of empowering messages for the day. And I am such a sucker for the adventure and the journey of life. And that's why I enjoyed the in-home care part of that. Sitting there, you sit there with your tribe, right? You're sitting there connecting with another human and passing down sometimes the secrets of the wisdom. And it's an escape, that we had, just picture the shaman or the wise man. There's a storyteller that's sharing the wisdoms and everything to the tribe. And that's what you are doing. You're going to empower it. And you know what? For me, I listen to audiobooks in the gym. I listen to them in yoga. I love them myself. And what I found was there was a little coaching curve for me to share my story as a speaker and a podcast host to kind of really get that impactful message out. And it took me a little while to transfer and transform from security and law enforcement into sharing with an audience and embracing my audience and bringing them with me instead of kind of putting them to a side or commanding the troops, right? And I found that even listening, I am learning every day, whether it's a science podcast or, an adventure book, or even, a 12-week year, or there's so much out there. But, I do want to say audiobooks has helped me in my life. Unfortunately, I just turned 50. That's not the unfortunate part. I'm just happy to be here and so glad that I've made it to 50. But what it is was since I've been young, I am dyslexic, and sometimes words seem to take a different form or shape. It's like Loki, the trickster god, was playing with the characters on the page, and they rearrange them and move them around. I may have trouble sometimes getting through a paragraph, whether I sound it out or look at it. I just can't finish the book, but I love research and I want to listen. So what do? I download I'll download the audiobook and I'll listen to that. And sometimes I can listen to the audio and read at the same time. And it just encourages me to keep my place and to remember that information. I'm an audio visual learner. And so combined with the reading, it's very impactful for me. And instead of allowing my saboteur to overload me and just get astonishing amounts of confusion, I really get to take my power back. And that's the passion that I share. And that's just a little bit of part of that, really. Here we go with a number 2 strategy. It's really the power of voice to build connection in a crowded market. We may think there's so much going on. There's so much out there. There's so many books and stuff and things. But you stand out here with your audiobook. You are powering yourself to the next level. And an author who narrates is so memorable. You hear it all the time. Even Joe Rogan talks about it all the time. I hope you narrated your book. You're an author. You're a great author. And I just want to hear your voice because you have a passionate way to tell your stories. Very impactful. And, I've been podcasting for a few years now. And though I've written a book and many blogs, it is the power of the voice. And this is how I help people. And I have helped my clients come through this, is really sharing, what this interest is and how to succeed. Okay, here we go. And here's some tools for success in here. And you can see Instagram, we're all familiar with. Zoom, Otter AI, Audacity. It's a great tool. These are all free tools for you. Absolutely. In the Soul Aligned Empire, this is what you can use to create these beautiful graphics. And the reason you want this is because it's going to impact and empower your message, where you can share it on social media, share it in your membership, and also share your story on YouTube. And it's very impactful. For those of you who don't know or have played around with Canva, it's Canvas based. These little graphics here that I'm putting up here are graphics explicitly from Canva. And Canva is a great free tool. And if you get the yearly membership, it's a couple bucks. It's about $15, right? It's a creator's tool. You have to have those media bundles and get out there. Another free and wonderful tool you need to have to get your YouTube account, if you haven't gotten it yet, is Gmail. Yeah, I know Janine even loves send out cards, and I love receiving cards too and stuff in the mail, but we have to have our email, don't we? We have to have that email account. And you'll hear the great thing about Gmail is you're going to get those messages of a new subscriber to your audiobook channel. Zoom. I use Zoom. You can use Zoom for screenshots. Zoom we're using right now. It's a powerful tool. And Zoom, when you download Zoom, you get 2 components. You get the video and the audio. So just in case you don't want to really show up or do your hair, you can turn off the video and just record that fabulous audio takeaway. What I have here is a very impactful, dynamic form of, I narrated a chapter of Dracula to see how that would come out. And I added some dynamic video there. And this is the way you show up and you turn on your audience to the fascination of you. A little message, an outro here. It says subscribe, right? Subscribe to your channel. Intros here. This intro here is really dynamic, and I use it for podcasting, but I have shared with my clients the power of intros and outros and bringing your audience in and reminding them to like and subscribe. Back here is Audacity. And yeah, it's a little musical and it's a harmony of your voice and the connection your audience has. But when you're home and you haven't put the kids outside and you haven't thrown some food at the dog and they're yelling and screaming, you want to be able to take that out, or the the cough or this. And I wheeze a bit. So the power I have with Audacity to take that out when I'm recording is fantastic. And I can line that up just perfectly. So your voice is very dynamic and impactful. Otter AI. The reason you want to have this is you probably wrote your book. You're like, I got content. What does Otter AI do? When you throw that audio feed in there, Otter AI transcribes, and you can cut and paste little tidbits out and you reuse it for social media or your newsletters to connect to your audience and let them know you got a new chapter out, right? And the fun of this too is that it's more engaging, one more free and impactful way that you can be more dynamic and have something with your audience. And you can always have your virtual assistant share this. But those ands and ums, and I say them too, I'm human. You want to take those out. Otter AI will let you know, just like a Yodely program will let you know where those ands and ums are, right? We want the human dynamic, but we don't want to lose our audience, do we? You don't want to and so and y'all and yeah, and take that out, right? So there's another great tool. Here we go. Equipment from ye old Amazon shop for under $100. You can get a great headset that is noise canceling. When you hear those kids screaming and torturing each other and they feel like they haven't been fed and it's only been 3 minutes, you can cancel them out. If you want to record in your Harry Potter closet, you can get a cordless mouse. You don't want to get all those mice trapped in a cord, that endless stream of cords. Get a light. A ring light is great. Why is this great? If you're going to show up on video, you want to be able to see. A filter is always good for people like me. I don't think filters are made for those youngins. I think they're made for people like me, 50 and plus now, right? Always remember you've got your phone. However you want to do it, wherever you're comfortable, you've got your phone. So the equipment under $100, right? And so here we come back to my favorite part of this, and it's the number 3 strategy, and it's profit. So shake that moneymaker and make it rain through your audio publishing. That narrator's journey, right? We're all familiar with it. You write. And people follow you. You take your blogs, your content, and then you put it into a big book, or you take your book and you make those books into videos, and you take the chapters and you engage your audience and you share with them what's in it for your audience. Then you get published. You go out and that publishing can be pretty daunting sometimes, right? If you're publishing a book or self-publishing, is it all coming in? Are you engaging your audience? Are all the links and funnels up? Also, the narration. Here's the part that we're at right now. What is their connection? How do we speak to our audience? Are we sitting up? Are we standing tall? Are we breathing in and out so we can enunciate our words correctly? Are we going super fast, right? And then in that journey, you want to share. And you share your personalized guidance and results with your audience. And another connection, and always staying heart-centered. That is one of my favorite things, is to make sure that I've constantly got that control. And so here we go, and you're going to turn your number 1 bestseller to an audiobook. And remember that you right now are the most valuable player, because once you train and once you get comfortable with working with a mic, your podcast will go better. Your interviews will become better. The better listener you are, the better speaker you are. And the better listener you are, the better you are at sales and service. And we listen to what the client wants. And we're going to turn that into that great bestseller, right? And it's so much fun how you can just stand out and pop. And membership has its privileges, right? Folks, you remember that? I think that was American Express back in the day. But the privilege of you creating your membership for your audience. Here's a little bit of a tidbit I want you to really think about, and this is what I encourage my clients. I learned this. I spent a lot of money understanding this myself and made quite a few mistakes. So I want to share how to make it go smoothly, and it's okay to make mistakes. Recurring revenue on your membership. You get monthly membership or yearly membership. You're going to get recurring membership and revenue off that book that you've already sold, and it's another way to generate income. Focus value to your clients. Your clients want value. Your clients want to feel like they're one-to-one with you. You can get a link, special link to your YouTube channel when you sell your book. Increase the impact of your message. When you take your intellectual property and you own it like a rock star, it impacts that message, and you're really creating that platform for your audience. And here sharing your short stories in weekly chapters. How can you do that? Well, you can do that in a newsletter. And you know me, you can tell I love to have it dynamic and fun. And I just want to take you on a visual creation ride. And what you can do with your audience is write them a newsletter and say, hey, today, this week, since you're in my membership, I'm going to share with you this special chapter or this chapter ahead of time. It's about the funnel sequence. And I know this is the boring stuff. It's the things and stuff and business. But you know, when I say so much that it is really about that experience to the audience. I look at what my experience is with people that send me newsletters, and do I want to stay interested in that? And when you do a funnel sequence in your membership, you are sending your clients on the journey that they want to buy from you. They like you, they love your book, they love your content, they want to buy you, they want to find you, they want to hear you, they want more about you, and you can sell merchandise as well. Do not think that it is such a push just to sell. Your audience is there and they want to know about you, and they don't know about you if you don't talk about it. So they want to share in your journey. You want to keep up the momentum, make sure that sound is on, and here's ways to reach 100%. So first, you can DIY your own audiobook. If you understand the equipment, if you want to download it and go through that, you can DIY it and absolutely do it yourself and share with your audience through social media and YouTube. Or you can get a media bundle too, and you want to up just a little bit from your DIY, you're going to get creative, get into a media bundle and share with them great visuals each day. Also, you have done for you.